The following script is an excerpt from Arthur C Clarke's science fiction novel, The City and the Stars. All of this audio is generated by an AI, with the narrator being trained on a sample of Shiva's voice. Pre-trained voices are used for alternate characters. Now that such a model exists, perhaps I could be your Siri, or Alexa, for eternity. Anyway, onwards with the excerpt. When two people met for the first time in Diaspar, or even for the 100th, it was customary to spend an hour or so in an exchange of courtesies before getting down to business, if any. Hedron somewhat offended Jesrak by racing through these formalities in a mere 15 minutes, and then saying,
"I'd like to talk to you about Alvin. You're his tutor, I believe."
"That is true. I still see him several times a week as often as he wishes."
"And would you say that he was an apt pupil?"
Jesrak thought that over. It was a difficult question to answer. The pupil-tutor relationship was extremely important, and was, indeed, one of the foundations of life in Diaspar. On the average, 10,000 new minds came into the city every year. Their previous memories were still latent, and for the first 20 years of their existence everything around them was fresh and strange. They had to be taught to use the myriad machines and devices that were the background of everyday life, and they had to learn their way through the most complex society man had ever built. Part of this instruction came from the couples chosen to be the parents of the new citizens. The selection was by lot, and the duties were not onerous. Ariston and Titania had devoted no more than a third of their time to Alvin's upbringing, and they had done all that was expected of them. Jesrak's duties were confined to the more formal aspects of Alvin's education. It was assumed that his parents would teach him how to behave in society and introduce him to an ever-widening circle of friends. They were responsible for Alvin's character, Jesrak for his mind.
"I find it rather hard to answer your question. Certainly there is nothing wrong with Alvin's intelligence, but many of the things that should concern him seem to be a matter of complete indifference. On the other hand, he shows a morbid curiosity regarding subjects which we do not generally discuss."
"The world outside Diaspar, for example."
"Yes, but how did you know?"
Hedron hesitated for a moment, wondering how far he should take Jesrak into his confidence. He knew that Jesrak was kindly and well-intentioned, but he knew also that he must be bound by the same taboos that controlled everyone in Diaspar, everyone except Alvin.
"I guessed it,"
he said at last. Jesrak settled down more comfortably in the depths of the chair he had just materialized. This was an interesting situation, and he wanted to analyze it as fully as possible. There was not much he could learn, however, unless Kedron was willing to cooperate.